Right. So I did that. I accidentally clicked on that. Hello. Yeah, before any more people walk past, another thing that happened in that dream is someone gave me one of something and then one of something else. I mean, I don't get what. See, this is the sort of stuff that dream was. Right? I don't get all that stuff. It means like one and two and one and five and all these things. But I had a dream once that the police were thinking of putting me as one and one. I mean, I don't get what it all means, but because I think I'm two and one. I don't get what that means. Because I remember, like, there was a particular sort of worker, one of the other workers, and what is it? And she went, he's two and what? Which I still don't understand what it means. I mean, I had a dream where I seemed to work out what it all meant in the dream. And then all I could remember when I woke up is that women who get really nastily used for sex by men, and the men don't think they've got a pretty face, and they're just left feeling horrible and about themselves. Protected, but that's all I knew when I woke up. I did seem to work it all out in the dream. Because I would imagine they wouldn't do it in a fair way, because it's like, it would seem unlikely if they're like all National Crime Agency people and that. But, yeah. I think a few more people are starting to walk along here. But, one dream I had recently was that I wrote some sort of second version of Mr. Brightside about the second woman behind the grassy knoll or something. Because it came out in like 2000. Well, it's weird, isn't it? That song. There's a lot of mystery around that song. 'Cause it came out in like 2003 and wasn't much of a hit. So they re-released it in 2004, and then it became like one of the sort of seminal tracks of all time. It's quite strange. I think I may have written the very original words to it, and then I may have written a second version about the second woman behind the grassy knoll. Well, that's what this dream seemed to be saying. I may even have written three different versions of it, and then like you get back into that state of like complete pain, like where you can't see a bright side to anything and you realise everything, and then my only avenue is to write another version of that. So, um, had this other one about that was like the Kings. That was mental. I didn't talk about that dream for about a month after I had it because I was sort of debating whether to ever talk about it. You know, there was this bit at the end where there's this lad in this locked up in this little room in a secure unit, but he's got all like grass growing all over the floor of his room, like a lawn on the floor of his room, and like plants everywhere and that. And he just goes, "There's no way out," or something like that. And then I come into this room with all these younger lads, younger like political prisoner mental patients, and I have to like sort of be their guide and so on. I mean, it is weird the mental health system because it's all the really intelligent mental patients who've actually got more going for them end up in secure units. I generally find you do get some people who but all the people who are just more standard mad just go in and out of acute wards. They never get put in secure wards. It's more the ones that have actually got the kind of the wherewithal to fight the system that end up getting put in secure units. Or not even fight the system, just the wherewithal to be blatantly sound when they're in a mental hospital. And then all the doctors and that think how can he be sound? He's a mental patient, so they get him moved to a locked up place, you know. Not like it's 100% correlation. I do really want to come back to Sedgley House. I mean, and just as I was thinking about it last night, I wouldn't mind coming back to actual Sedgley House as long as I was first on the list to go to Tills Hill, you know. So that could be an option. Instead of waiting like 6 months for a place at Tills Hill, I could come back to Sedgley House in the interim period as long as I knew I wasn't as long as I knew I was next in line to go to Tills Hill and I wasn't going to have to go to the lodge. I don't like the lodge. It's too quiet. Um, and then also, if I knew that you're not going to start messing around with my meds, like suddenly you decide I need to go on clozapine or I need to go on a risperidone injection or something because I'm very settled on the meds I'm on. say option. But yeah, it was good to that you were in that dream so much now. I mean, I'm only using your name because I've already used it. You know, I'm not going to say anyone else's name. There's no point. But yeah, it was good. And then you kept being there day after day, and I was thinking, I thought they said she's hardly ever at Sedgley House anymore. And I was really pleased that you were there every day. And it was nothing to do with your own spiky shoes. That was only a tiny little bit of it that only lasted about like 3 seconds or something. It was good seeing you, you know, because you understand about all very intelligent stuff. But remember, like what I was saying to the second one behind the grass, you know, if you get too wrapped up in cleverness, you get to overcome by cleverness. It can be the downfall of you, and yeah, you need to stick to your intelligence. God, they go very slow, these videos. This one's only 11 minutes long. How do I manage to ramble on for all this time? This one's only 11 minutes long. What else could I talk about? Then that first one was about the same. What else could I ramble on about? What other dreams have I been having? I mean, all I'd say to the British establishment, by which I don't mean like old men in like, you know, I don't see, when I talk about the British establishment, I don't mean old men in like clubs and that, like exclusive clubs for like rich businessmen and they're all like 55. I mean like, you know, 27-year-old coke snorting kind of executive. That's the British establishment and 27-year-old coke snorting members of the D state. I mean, all I'd say to it is people like me and me will keep coming, and even if you manage to finish milk, people like me will keep coming because we need it. You know, there'll be more and more and more books, and then you'll have one on every street in the end. And also, like you'll get old as well. I know when you're that young, it's like age getting old seems like so far away that you don't think about it. But it's like some of you are probably starting to look at you've been 30 now, and it's like, trust me, life doesn't end when you get to 30. Life only ends when you get to 30. If you've lived your 20s like a complete C word or B word, you know, if you live your 20s in a very kind of more, you know, morally moral way, then your life doesn't end at 30. You grow as to 30. Like I'm 44, but I don't feel 44. But if I'd have lived my life as a complete kind of C word or B word when I was in my 20s, I'd probably be completely broken by now. I am meant to have very beautiful eyes. That's what people always say. They don't always look beautiful to me, not most of the time. But that stays, you know, obviously like your cheekbones go a bit and that, but you know, beauty lasts, just kind of youthful prettiness fades, and then people like that have nothing, you know. And all the kind of head ones of you will all be in your late 20s by now, staring down the barrel of 30. But trust me, you get to 30. I got to 30, I went on a bit of a downer for a couple of years. And then I just got used to being 30, and I've gone from strength to strength since, you know. You get used to being like an old man, and then you just go from strength to strength. If you've lived your early part of your life like a complete swear word, then it's a lot more difficult to get used to being old, you know. I mean, I may be the one for my generation, but you'd end up with someone like me living on every street, you know. And you probably already have, really, in the right area. It's just they don't unite behind any kind of political, because they see all politicians as being as bad as each other. But that's only because you fed them that lie. Sorry, I've just got bits of dry skin on my lips. Probably not too sound bad, my teeth. Really bad. I actually brushed them yesterday. I gave them quite a thorough scrub. I actually feel a lot better inside my mouth. Um, fine. What else would I say to the Brit? I mean, I imagine, like, if you snort coke all the time, it does become very addictive, and you're sort of rushing off the power of it. But it's like, why don't you just smoke weed? I mean, it's much better. It gives you much better time. Um, I better see what time it is, isn't it? It was just before 3 when I started making this one. I'll let this one run to 30 minutes, and I'll see what time. What are the dreams of Abby? I felt like I needed a big mammoth dream. I felt like it was due, because ever since I started making these Twitter live videos, I haven't had proper, like, any proper mammoths, you know. But then that was a mammoth. It was all about stuff like that, all the stuff really intelligent people think about. But then it was like, and then in the end, I mean, if you don't get on the cocaine train when you're about 23 and this kind but collecting the cricket club really. Yes, that spider. Look, can you see that spider? It was on my nose. I don't mind little spiders. I always say there's like a certain size with spiders, but you just sort of think, hang on a minute, that's a bit kind of medium size. But that one's just a little one. They're quite sweet, the little spiders. Women are in charge with spiders, aren't like quite often. If the man doesn't play his cards right, the women will kill him after they mate. Oh, that reminds me of something actually. I was listening to that program that's on at 9 o'clock on One Extra on a Sunday. The um the chat program, and this woman was talking about how if it was a dictatorship, deadbeat, she said, by which the other the proper, well, not proper presenter, the kind of the more BBC presenter explained afterwards meant deadbeat dad. She was going like, yeah, in a dictatorship, deadbeats, they be getting beatings, and then it was going, you can't say that, you verbal beatings, verbal beatings. It was quite funny, I like it. But, but then I had some dream. I'm a deadbeat. I don't know if I got some woman pregnant the last time I absconded. I mean, it could just be a complete kind of load of psychotic rubbish. But if I did, then I'm very keen to like play a part in that kid's life. But it could just be a complete load of psychotic rubbish. What I'm saying, because I do have a vague memory of going back, like with a girl. Because I don't know where I slept the first night. I mean, I don't know where I slept a lot. I think all the other nights I slept on the street. That spider will call on me again. Where Well, I don't think I do. I don't know. Basically, loads of stuff happens, and then I don't remember it for like years later. But like, if you're out there, I mean, I think I know who it might be. And if like we did have proper full blown sex, and I got you pregnant, then I definitely want to be a good dad to that baby. Like for real, I mean, I've always wanted a child. Well, for about the past 10 years. But that could just be like some sort of false memory. But I can't remember how the dream went. But someone called me a deadbeat or something. Yeah, it's good that episode of that program. I liked both of them. So it's on 25. I might end this one here and I might end this one here and see what time it is. Because when you're making I don't know why it can't just have the time at the top of the screen still. But when you're making a video, time disappears.